want to show you one of my older videos, and I've cut it together for you, which is the concealed zip, because lots of people have trouble with it and I want to take the fear out of it for that one. And here you can see how beautiful it looks at the top and how it's lovely finished. Here we can see the understitching again. And what I did with this technique is I've closed the center back seam first, which is just the one method. You could also leave it open and then put it in. What you get very often is let me just push this over, you'll get like this little pleat in there, because when you put your zip in, you sew it on one side and give more length to the zip than on the other, so you're getting that pleat. And by closing the center back seam first, you won't end up with a skirt, for example, where then at the center back one is longer than the other when you get to the hem, right? Because that's why, because you stretched it with your zip. And if you are a beginner, then of course, if you've already got it together, that can't happen, right? So you have to see which way is for you better. I've got more videos, of course, when you're making an actual pattern of mine, where I show you exactly the other way as well. But here we're going to go on to see how this is done, how you get this beautiful finish, especially at the top. You could put a hook and eye in as well. This is the part which is usually not shown on any of the help videos, and I think it's so important that everyone knows how that goes, because it is so easy. Now, when do we use a concealed zip like that? It's usually in fine skirts and dresses, and where you don't want to use it is very likely when you have too much tension on it, because they do break. I have also used them for my hipster pants that we've just recently released, so that is a nice one. But even there, I'm sometimes thinking, should I do another zip? And of course, I've got in the academy a whole course on zips, and I just want to show you the zips that you can learn there as well. Another zip I show you is one that I'm not perfectly, happy with. It's a lapped zip. I don't really like those so much, but I'm showing you how that works. And of course, how you get this perfect finish of your lapped zip at the top. And then we've got a fashion zip, which I think is great for a pair of pants, like my hipster pants. I would love to see that in there. And that is also finished really nicely with lining on the inside. So that's another zip you can learn. Then I've done a fashion zip video for you here. As you can see again, it's all top stitched, and this time the zip is just behind it and it's not finished off. And then I've got another one which I think a lot of you like these days, where you just simply sew the zip to the top, and how that's done and how to make it look really nice on the inside as well. So we've got a load of videos for that. And just in case you are really keen on pockets, there is a whole course on pockets as well. Here we've got one version of a welt pocket. Then I've done a welt pocket with a flap. Then we have done a welt pocket with the welt at the top and a flap and a welt on the lower end. And it goes on and on, so it's well worthwhile being a member, because these are all free. And then we've got a single welt pocket as well. So that is my pocket stash. So let's get on now just with this concealed zip, and I hope you really enjoy that. Now you have concealed zips and open zips, and the open zip will have the teeth on the top, and then your concealed zip will have the teeth underneath the top. So that's the main difference here. And the first thing to do is to close the center back seam of the lining and the center back seam of the shell fabric. And of course, you could also leave those open, but that's a different technique. I would advise you, if you haven't done this before, that this might be the way to do it. With that done and the seams ironed apart, I will take my concealed zip and I'm going to put it on so we can see how it's going to go on there, right? So teeth go to the underside, and also the length of the zip ends might be a little bit tall. You want them to be exactly 1 centimeter if that's your seam allowance. If it's 1.5 for batrick pattern, then this length is probably fine. So let's have a look at this now. We're going to fold the seam allowance over just so we can see where it's going to sit. It's going to sit right to the middle, so you won't be able to see anything. You saw that on the finished sample just now. So we're going to open up our zip now and put on this side first. What you want to do is to pin it all the way. And then we're going to do a holding stitch actually before we put it in, because one of the main things that goes wrong with concealed zips is that you stretch the fabric too much on the one side and not enough on the other, and trust me, it will happen every single time. It's just the way it goes. So put your zip under so we can do the other side. Roll it over. Line up the edges. It's perfect for the 1 centimeter, by the way. And now I can pin it on this side as well. And we're going to put the holding stitch on both sides so that it can't move anywhere, and we won't end up with one side longer than the other and therefore getting this little unsightly pucker at the end of the zip. Let's open this back out. You can check that's all in nice and flat. You can see that will work beautifully. Now you can use either a concealed zipper foot. I've got one, but if you haven't got one and you've only got the standard zipper foot, you can use that as well, of course. Right, first things first though, we want to do our little holding stitch. Putting my foot down, and if I was to sew this, you can see the needle would not hit the fabric. So what you want to do is move your needle over as far as you can go. That is not the same on all sewing machines, of course, but go as far as you can go. That's all you need to do, and sew it in. Now the teeth will actually keep this all in place. All right, so I'm just sewing this in. Depending on what fabric you have, you might want to like hold it nice and taut from the back. Put your needle down and you can close your zip again because I had to open it to get in. Right, we're sewing all the way down and stopping obviously just here. Don't go further down. No need to go further down. You won't get the zip through easily, otherwise you'll see later why you can only go to there. Turn it over, and on this side I've pinned it from this side. Doesn't matter from which side you sew it on, you see. Just do it. There you go. Let me sew this one in and close my zip again once I've gone past the top there. There we go. And also while you're sewing this in, you can see this needs to be really nice and flat. If it isn't, then there's something amiss. Okay. Oops. Put that. And we're sewing to exactly the same point, which is great because I can actually see it now, can't I? So I can see how far I need to go. There we go. Let's check again at this point that it's all perfect. Great. I think that's good. Now I open up my zip and I have to take the little toggle at the end and I stick it in the bottom. There's the long bit. There we go. And I can open my zip up now all the way. And then later on we can cut that zip off and finish it off and just make sure that it can't open up. There we go. Now the time has come to go on the sewing machine and sew this baby in. And I start on the left hand side and my aim is to go right into the groove here. So I need to open that out with my fingers as I go. And here's my little zipper foot that I use for my puff machine. And that will just sit right in this groove. Now you want to make very sure that you don't go in too far because if you do that, then your zip won't do up and it will break when you try to do it up. It's better to go in again. You could go in as many times as you like. It doesn't really matter because, you know, it's already attached in the right place. And then at the end here, we're just going to secure it, and then we do the other side and come back up. Right, open it out, put that foot on there, secure your stitching, and now all you have to do is go close to it. And the beauty is, if you didn't quite hit it, you can just go again, you go over it. So I'm making sure though that none of this happens. Now with cotton it's really easy. If you have a chiffon or something, this will happen. So make sure that one hand is there, one finger is there. So move it up and hold it open with the other finger like that. And then you're hitting right down here. Now of course you have to stop at this point here, so backwards and forwards. You don't want to go too far, obviously, just to that point. So now I'm going to go in here as close as I can and backwards and forwards, and then I go up. And like I just said, it might be better to start on this one and then do the other one from the top down because it's so much easier to get in. But this one, I'll just do it like this. It's actually dead easy. It's not that hard, but these zips break more easily than, say, a lapped zip or an open zip of the other kind that I just showed you earlier, which I also show in the Academy method. Right, let's check it out at this point, really pull it apart and see whether it's okay. And if it is, you can cut off your zip at this point as well, sew across it so it doesn't open up, and then if you wanted to, you could finish it off. But if it's cased in between the lining, you don't really need to do that. When you cut it off, don't use your good scissors, use a paper scissor. Now comes the interesting part, which most people struggle with, and I thought that was really important to show it. So what we want to do is put our lining over and just pretend that it's rolled in here like that, because that's how it would sit on the inside, right? It's not directly on the zip. You need to have a little gap so that the teeth don't get caught. So what we do then is just simply roll the zip over so that it covers the lining, so it comes in on itself and the teeth are right in that groove. Now just take a vertical pin and secure, and that's all you do. Really simple. Super. All we have to do now is to sew across it. Very important is that you make sure that you are slightly lower when you sew across it, so you don't get an unsightly nose. So I do the same here again. I fold it over. You probably have a little bit more seam allowance than you would normally have, because of course the lining doesn't need quite the length and it turns in on itself about 4 millimeters earlier than the zip does. But here you can see we just put the zip over the top of that, vertical pin in it, Bob's your uncle. Really simple. And now we can just sew it in. Right, here I come. Yum, 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 yum. And now I'm going to make sure that this doesn't give you a nose. This is also something quite important. Just a little bit lower than your seam allowance, okay? So I've just come a little bit lower. There we go. Now we've done this, you need to first check before you cut it back that you've done it okay. So turn your zip and then you can have a little look whether you've done it correct. Other side as well, I just want to see that that's all nice and neat. Looks good to me. Do the zip up. Excellent. And it's the same height, so I don't need to go back in here, right? Now I'm going to do a little bit of understitching just to make sure that if that was my skirt or my dress, that nothing rolls out. In fact, in a lot of cases, you would have put the lining on to about 5 centimeters before the zip, and it'll be all understitched already, and then you do the little bit of the rest when the zip is in. So I've understitched it, ironed it, and it all looks spiffing. The last thing I need to do here now is to hand stitch my zip down. I like the hand stitching because I've got more control than when I do it with a sewing machine. It looks really neat and tidy. And very often when you have a dress that is done in industry and it's not a good quality dress or was really cheap, you get like these ugly pleats at the lower end of the zip again. And I kind of like just doing this method where I just tunnel through, you know, the crease I've got here, pick up a little bit of the zip and then do that all the way to the top. It looks really nice. The zip sits nicely on there, and yeah, I just prefer it, and I've always done it like that. But of course, if you prefer, you could sew the zip in by machine. So that's the concealed zip done as well.